Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Mott Shop. My name's Calvin. So, today we have a interesting video. As you might notice, we're not in the shop right now. We're down at camp. And we got my great-grandfather's old Chevy Silverado. And this thing is the roughest Silverado you've ever seen. So, first of all, we've got this world's smallest Walmart air compressor. And here's what we have to do today. So pretty much over here is the truck. Now, the thing about this truck here is it's got a plow on it. So first thing you gotta do is you gotta take this plow off here, okay? This thing is pretty clapped out. It misses on quite a few cylinders. It pukes out transmission fluid. That's a problem. So what the goal is here today is I want to take the plow off. We have to run the truck long enough to have this thing blow up that tire. And then we need to back it up all the way up there to where the front end is facing the driveway so the tow truck can come and pick it up and bring it to the shop. Now, this thing sometimes has power steering, sometimes does not. It's burning oil, leaks transmission fluid, misses on a few cylinders. There's a lot wrong with it. So this tiny thing, in comparison to this tire, that's going to take a while to blow up. And yes, that will take air, surprisingly. Now, I've done a little bit of research on taking the plow off. So we gotta drop our jack down. Make sure it's down all the way. Now that pin is not locked in, so let's just block it in right there. Nice and good. Let's see. Got some wires we gotta disconnect. Always be sure to put the cap back on. These wires, if I can figure out how. There we go. Alright, so we got the wires disconnected. Alright, we got one pin pulled out. Come over onto the other side here. Make sure our wiring harnesses are out of the way. We'll pull this pin. This one's going to have some tension under it, I think. Yeah, it is. Try not to pinch our fingers. Alright, so we do have our pins all pulled out, and they are where they need to be. Wiring harnesses are disconnected. Everything should be done. The jack is down. So, we're not going to worry about that for right now. We are going to fire this thing up and start working with the air compressor. We're going to pop our hood. I just want to check fluids before we even start this thing up. I'm curious to see if we're going to have power steering for today. It would be nice. Alrighty here. Here's what we're working with. As you can see, we have a BMW battery in here. All's well. Brakes are very rusty, but they do somewhat work. I do have a new alternator on here because it wasn't charging. Our power steering fluid's there. I filled it up last time, so we're just going to hope we have power steering. I'm not really going to need it for what we're doing today, but it's always nice to know. Alright, so the main two fluids I want to check are our oil and transmission oil. Alright everyone, so we have the compressor all tied in. Again, I have no idea if our plug is even going to work in the cab. So, let's see if we can go and try and fire this thing up. It does click the solenoid quite a bit. Yeah, that might be a problem right there, bud. Alright. Let's make sure we're charging. We're charging our battery. We got good oil pressure. We got fuel. Let's see if this compressor works. It does. Look at that. I'll have to come back in a bit to see if it takes any air. pump up some more. Something smells very bad, so I'm assuming this thing's burning something already. Yeah, there's smoke up in there. I really don't know what it's burning, but oh yeah. She's smoking a bit. Let's get this done, bud. I've got her topped off on transmission fluid, so hopefully we can move. Alright guys, so disaster has struck. It's smoking quite a bit, and no matter what, I cannot get this plow off. I do not know why. I'm digging myself into a hole, and I just lost my transmission. I don't know what exactly happened. I think I kind of puked out all my fluid that I had in there, but I reconnected my wires because but pins are pulled. There's really nothing holding this thing on here, so I don't know why it won't come off. What do you think, huh? Well, everyone, I'm sorry I didn't get the initial part on camera, but I was having a real hell of a time trying to get this plow to disconnect. And boy, this thing's just billowing smoke out right now. I think it's burning coolant because it seems to have pretty good oil pressure, and I don't know. I think it's burning coolant though. But I had a hell of a time getting the plow off. I ended up having to use a jack to kind of lift the plow up and off because I tried putting it into four-wheel drive and it completely stalled the engine out. I think something's wrong in the transfer case. But I had to use a jack, lift the plow up, because this isn't really even ground like it should be. But that's how I had to get it up. As you can see, it was puking out transmission fluid right here. It's the hole I was sitting in right here. And then we've got some fluid there, and then just a trail of fluid all the way down. But we did get the plow off of the truck, and we do have the truck sitting down here. Now the tow truck can come right down the driveway and hook right onto it. It is good to see it up here. And I went up and down just a couple times, just get it moving. And the brakes seem to have actually cleared up a bit. Oh yeah, right there. That is some good, fresh transmission fluid right there, bud. Anyways, there you go. Now we gotta go get the tractor to move that plow. So to answer your guys' question, yes, a very small, cheap, hyper tough Walmart compressor that plugs into your cigarette lighter can in fact pump up a tire on a Silverado. This thing was flat. I only got it up to like 15 psi, but it did what we needed to do. I reckon our leak is somewhere in here. Oh yeah, right in there. Look at that. Lucky for us though, we got plenty of tires in the back. This big red behemoth here, she's gonna sit here for another 2 weeks until the tow truck comes. It's probably gonna be $4 or $5 grand worth of work to get this thing going, but I believe in sentimental value. This is my great grandfather's truck. It needs new cooler lines for sure. Figure out where that leak's coming from, what it's burning, if it's inspectable. Now, inspectable wise, it's not the prettiest. Cosmetically, we have a little spot here on the hood. Brakes definitely need redone. I guess the tires are decently okay. I've seen worse leaf springs, but I've also seen better. The frame itself is questionable. If you get down under here. Now, I have seen worse frames. It looks rough, but let's see. Leaf springs, it's all rusty, but the frame itself, can't poke my fingers through. This is my parking brake cable. That looks nice and good. But honestly, like the frame, I've seen worse. I think And with a little bit of work, I do think that this truck is going to be inspectable.